danger, and there are many important people in this city right now who are also in danger. We're trying to protect this city and protect the people in it from an inevitable attack. So far, the clues have led us back to these apothecaries. We don't have the time to go looking in Dransmond or another city to find out where they are and what they're plotting.
I say, you know, it takes time for things to be done. Maybe, you know, these people that you're looking for, they I don't know. I'm sorry. That's all I know. But
which city?
That's the price of information here.
What city should be back in Westmore, I think?
I mean, these apothecaries, they came from Elkbrook.
So Albrook. Now, we appreciate the information you've given us so far, but since these apothecaries are likely in the city, potentially doing some harm to the sailors that frequent even your bar, if you hear anything, will you send word to the consul Isabella Encios?
If you're working with the consul, maybe you should report this to her.
Definitely an option. I'm just thinking that sometimes, you know, there are, like you said, whisperings that you'll only hear in places like this where sailors will tell their stories.
Well, it's true, but you have the ear of the consul. There's very little that happens in Mario that she doesn't have at least some tabs on. Maybe you give me a very generous donation for information that you might have been able to get better from her. I appreciate it, but
Hey, we could have talked to her the whole
Can you at least throw in 3 pizzas?
sure.
Thank you.
and a to-go.
I'm gonna eat 3 pizzas.
I'll wrap them up for you.
Oh, sorry.
Wait,
did
you get
guys
all
want
3?
some too?
You just paid like 600 gold for 3 pizzas and nothing.
Admittedly, the flatbreads are amazing.
I don't know, how much did we pay?
300.
Oh, 300. I doubled it.
Yeah.
300 gold's a lot of gold.
But we found 5,000 on the ship.
Yeah, that guy was totally a swindler, though. I say as I'm like leaving with my delicious flatbread pizza.
It was worth every
How much
penny.
HP do you get back from a flatbread pizza?
I will burn
Spicy
that bar to the
pepper
ground
drops you.
if that guy tries to take 300 gold from me ever again.
Information is worth whatever value you put on it. And I think
The only information he told us is to leave the city to find out what we want or talk to the person we're staying with. That's what he
discovered
told
the
us.
whole thing
No, he
after
told us-
found out where we were staying. So like,
Leontes.
what if we just never brought it up to the consulate? Like we could have just went home and been like, we're going to sleep. Any
Fine.
news? I don't know.
Fine.
I also, knowing that, know that if we talk to her, if she says she doesn't know, could she be covering things up?
And then we burn her house to the ground.
No!
Show
Get the line
her.
out first.
Should be the first thing that you think of.
What would you guys like to do next then?
Shall we go back to her house and ask her?
Sure.
300 gold later.
All right, 300 gold later, 300 gold, and belly's full of flatbread later. It isn't really correct. Like, I know we're using pizzas as a but like I'm imagining that this is like you know what I mean? Like, I imagine that it would have figured like I guess something. From what I understand, like it's more about like the sauce than the cheese, like in the history of pizza, like the yeah, like so it's like more like a flatbread or a bruschetta, like not a bruschetta, but like I imagine it's like a chunky tomato on top with like a sprinkling of like cheese and like
So
whatever.
her dough technique.
I
Yeah,
already
not
had
what
dinner
you-
tonight, and I want to order a pizza.
It's
when
been
I'm
a
done.
while since I've had pizza too, so that might just be
Okay, well, I guess 300 gold for this pizza, worth it. Let's go back to the house.
Can at least get an idea of where maybe
course, the home now is under heavy guard. So not only have the forces of Liberio themselves and the armed soldiers from Liberio now been positioned more heavily, because the news has spread about what has happened at the cathedral, right? And even as you come in, Isabella Ezio says, "Where have you all been? I got the news from the Flamekeeper at the Cathedral of Saint Fiona about what you found. This is a disaster. What
I
happened?"
mean, it seems like some trouble was brewing under the cathedral before we even came. So, I'm glad we found that for you.
We've been investigating.
First, on behalf of Liberio, I want to apologize profusely. This oversight on the High Flamekeeper's part is a grave diplomatic peril to Liberio itself. I don't want to imagine what would have happened if whatever these conspirators were planning had occurred. But it could have been the death knell for Liberio itself. If the leaders of Caspia, Westamar, and Illyria had been attacked, let alone killed, while they were in my city, we would have taken the blame for it, and we would have been destroyed.
You know, there is something to say for the fact that although the Gasconade tomorrow is supposed to be about the monsters that were hunted, the fact that we three stopped an attempt to assassinate many important world leaders at a public event, or a private event, I guess, could probably be put in the books as points for us. And Liberio itself, if they have any stakes in this, should probably keep in mind that this mistake was made and that the three of us have done what we do best and helped out.
Have you found who is responsible, or do you have any information on where they came from?
We've got it all figured out, but we have some questions to just confirm what we already assume.
Very well. I want you to know that I take this very seriously, and I can put whatever resources you might need, whatever aid you may need, to get to the bottom of this at your disposal.
Probably a few more bottles of
Yeah,
wine.
I'm pretty sure we should leave first. So
How will more wine help?
Wine saved our lives tonight, for the record.
Yeah,
He's not
he's
wrong,
weirdly
actually.
accurate from that statement.
very well. You do look grievously wounded, and you smell of sea salt and the harbor.
Oh, I am. I'm bleeding right now inside of this cloak, but we're going to deal with that later.
So, we discovered, after asking around, the Guild of Conscious Practice and Scientific Discovery of Almbrook, Beauty, may have three opportunities wandering around, potentially turning people into zombies slash undead.
What we found under the temple was sailors that had been injected or changed into almost these walking bombs that would explode, sending this awful bile and internal grossness all over the place.
Yes. Indeed, I learned about that from the High Flamekeeper Portia. Let me know that was happening. The consul has a grave look on her face. She furrows her brow a little bit as she thinks about it. I must tell you, I'm not a particularly devout person myself. And so it's not surprising the Flamekeepers did not check the crypts. I have since ordered my soldiers and soldiers of Liberio to close off the area around the cathedral. We have closed off more streets, and we have I've ordered a thorough sweep of the underground and the catacombs as well on my part, to make sure that there's no other threats that are hiding in the darkness. Of course, my people don't have the capabilities that you three do, but I hope that if there is any other plan or plot that is going to bubble up, whatever they were planning on doing, it seems clear to me that they were planning on detonating this bomb or attacking the Gasconade directly. And by your actions, you have foiled them. Do you think that they will attempt something again?
I mean, regardless of whether or not they will attempt something again, it still benefits us. We don't know why they did this, or who they were working for, and that's all valuable information that we could use. So their boat is gone. They have no way out of Liberio until they hire another captain to take them offshore or leave. So we need to keep our ears to the ground.
I have already ordered the harbor master to close the port. No ships will be leaving Liberio.
Well, keep in mind that we also gotta be careful about cornering them too quickly as well. And of course, I don't want them to get out, but who knows what they'll do when they're trapped.
Yes, if they can turn an entire ship into a monster and turn monsters into monsters and people into monsters. I do think that the three of us will need a nappy nap for the night, which it would be bad if we spring them into a defensive position during that time. But have you heard anything around the streets of Liberio that about these three apothecaries? Because we would hope to act and bring them in for questioning before the Gasconade tomorrow at noon.
I can have my eyes and ears and the soldiers of Liberio. If there is anyone from the Guild of Conscious, what is this guild called again?
Conscious practice and scientific discovery of Albuquerque.
If we find any of them, we will bring them in and apprehend them. I will send my people to every inn, tavern, flophouse, and boarding house, seeing if anyone is staying in any establishment. If there's anyone fitting any of this description, I will have them brought in and imprisoned in Angra Citadel until we can question them.
What do you know about House Leonte?
House Leontes is one of our most powerful and respected houses in Liberio. The Duke Bernardo is he's a friend of mine, but I would say I'm not sure if he necessarily views both of us as a friend. He has a hand in almost every business transaction in the city. And they are the most prolific moneylenders in the city. Most notably, Duke Bernardo's largest client is selling insurance to sailors when they go on a voyage. So a sailor who goes on a voyage, if they happen to not return home, or if another business person commissions a